trust that the one who began this gracious work in you will faithfully continue the process of maturing you until the unveiling of our Lord Jesus Christ. I thank my God upon every remembrance of you, always, in every prayer of mine, making request for you all with joy, for your fellowship in the gospel from the first day until now, being confident of this very thing, that he who has begun a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. Hello and welcome to Fresh Dew. I am Pastor Nta, and it's always my pleasure to welcome you to every single episode of Fresh Dew. Fresh Dew is a program designed just for you. It's designed to build you up and to give you fresh inspiration and direction for your life. Today on Fresh Dew, we continue our series, Abundant Resources on Every Side. Abundant Resources on Every Side. And this is part 21 of that series, Abundant Resources on Every Side. Now, our definitions have been abundant, existing or available in large quantities, plentiful, abundant in, having plenty of something, abundance, a very large quantity of something, the state or condition of having a copious quantity of something, plentifulness of the good things of life, prosperity. Resource, a stock or supply of money, materials, staff, and other assets that can be drawn on by a person or organization in order to function effectively. If we're talking about abundance, then we need to make a statement. We said abundance is a blessing from God, and lack is a curse and not a state of the economy. Abundance is a blessing from God, and lack or poverty is actually a curse and not a state of the economy. Then we began to look at the case against the concept of inevitable lack or unavoidable lack. A lot of us believers think there are situations when there's inevitable lack. It's not my fault. I can't prevent it. Unavoidable lack. Is there really anything like inevitable lack or unavoidable lack? We said there were two syndromes where that thing shows up, that concept shows up of inevitable lack or unavoidable lack. The first one we said was the I was born poor syndrome for justifying inevitable lack. Some of us believe because I was born poor, all my family has always been poor. It's inevitable and unavoidable that I will be in lack, and I'll be in lack rather, and my generations will be in lack forever because they're called to be a missionary. There was no such thing in the definitions of being a missionary. So why is it that when we hear missionary, immediately we think that means lack, that means poor? Let's investigate that. The truth is this, that the Church of Jesus Christ has been quite selfish in many cases and not played their role when it comes to missionaries. The Church of Jesus Christ, many of us have spent time building empires to ourselves, building empires to our name, building franchises all around our ministries, and we really don't remember that there are missionaries out there who we are meant to support. And this problem of the church not supporting missionaries, that gives credence to this syndrome, gives credence to people believing that missionaries have to be poor and missionaries have to be in lack. And therefore what you find is a lot of people who are called to, even in Thessalonica. So there was a church in Thessalonica. You sent aid once and again for my necessities. So Paul went on missions to Thessalonica, and the Philippians pursued him with their partnership. They pursued him with their support. So he was okay. Even in Thessalonica, the Philippians were taking care of him. You sent aid once and again, more than once, for my necessities. Now, that not that I seek a gift, but I seek the fruit that abounds to your account. And this is where we lead to verse 19 that says, my God shall supply all your need. That was a prayer. That was a declaration for the Philippian church. Paul's testimony was, you guys did not let me stay in lack. You guys understood the role of the church to a missionary. Even when I was not physically with you, Thessalonica. So even in Paul's time, the churches didn't do what they needed to do for him to have made this statement. No church. Well, look at what the New King James says in verse 14. You shared in my distress. That word distress is a very interesting word. It's a word thlipsis, and it's a word that means affliction, distress, an oppressive state of physical, mental, social, or economic adversity. Paul had thlipsis. Paul had distress. Who is Paul? Great man of God, mighty anointed man of God, full of grace, the one who brought the revelation of grace clear to us, the one who wrote 2/3 of the Bible. Paul said he had distress. He had thlipsis. Paul said he had economic, social, mental, and physical stress, physical adversity, and a missionary. What would you say is the difference between an ambassador and a missionary? I wish I was in the room. I could hear your responses. Before we go into that, we've defined missionary and we'll define ambassador. But before I give you the definition of ambassador, let me ask you a question. When you hear missionary, like we said earlier,